The steak had cooled long before the wine. 2 candles, short and trembling, flickered like they were embarrassed to still be lit. I stared at the door. 8:17 p.m. phone buzzed. Caleb, caught up at the investor dinner. I owe you. Rain check tomorrow? No. Happy birthday. No, I'm sorry. Just a damn calendar. Shrug. The knife in my hand hovered over the edge of the plate. I set it down. Poured myself the rest of the burlo. He came in at 9:12 p.m., smelling like oysters and ambition. Hey babe, don't. I stood before he could lean in. He froze. Okay. Look, they extended the meeting. The pitch ran long. I didn't ask. Then why are you looking at me like that? Because I planned this 3 weeks ago. I made your favorite. I wore the dress you once said made you forget your own name. His eyes finally noticed the table. Shit. I picked up the plate, dumped the food in the sink, and turned on the water full blast. He flinched like the sound stung. I didn't mean to forget. No, I said, over the roar, you just didn't remember. He stepped closer, hands out. Come on, Liv. Don't do this. It was just a day. I'll make it up to you. I shut the faucet. The silence that followed had a vacuum. It wasn't just a day to me. You think I don't care? Jesus, Liv. You care about being seen caring. Not the caring itself. His jaw tightened. That's not fair. Neither is planning a birthday alone. He looked at the table again, as if realizing it had once mattered. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. You didn't think. We stood there in the open concept battlefield, his keys still in his hand, my heels digging into hardwood. The air between us buzzed with the kind of quiet that only comes after a house has chosen sides. Liv, his voice dropped an octave. You know how important tonight was. So was this. He dragged a hand through his hair. You don't get it. This deal, stop. I raised my hand. Don't tell me about your kingdom when I've been begging you to notice the throne is cracking. He laughed once. Cold. Now you're being dramatic. I set a place for you, Caleb. What? Tonight. At 6 o'clock. I lit 2 candles. I put your napkin on the left because that's how you like it. I waited. His voice softened. I didn't ask you to do all that. I know. I met his eyes. That's what hurts. He sank into a chair, finally noticing the empty plate across from him. I messed up. Yes. And I said I'll fix it. How? I asked. I'll take you to dinner tomorrow. That new place on 5th. We'll do the whole thing. I don't want to be rescheduled. You want me to beg? I'll beg. I want you to remember without needing a calendar invite. He didn't speak. You know the worst part? I asked, stepping closer. It's not the missed dinner or the silence when the clock hit midnight. It's that if I hadn't said anything, you wouldn't have noticed at all. His face fell. That's not true. Then what day is it, Caleb? He opened his mouth. Closed it. Blinked once, exactly. I walked to the sink, turned the faucet off, and tossed the napkin in the trash. I've stood beside you through investor winters, product delays, that goddamn stress ulcer last spring. I never wanted gold. I never needed grand. Just this. One evening where I wasn't invisible. You're not invisible. He stood again, towering. You're everything. Then treat me like it. I do. No, I said. You treat me like a fixture. Reliable. Convenient. Silent. His shoulders dropped. Liv, I wanted you here tonight because I needed to feel chosen. Not out of obligation. Not out of guilt. Just because. His voice cracked. I never wanted to hurt you. But you did. And now I don't know what's worse, what you forgot, or how easily I let you. He looked at me like he didn't recognize the woman in front of him. Maybe I didn't either. I walked past him, picked up the half-melted candles, and snuffed them out with a twist of my fingers. Darkness settled in fast. Liv, he said softly. I paused at the edge of the room. This doesn't mean what you think it means, he said. I turned back. No. It means exactly what I think it does. And I left the room, taking the silence with me. ***. The dishes clinked as I stacked them. Caleb was upstairs on a call, his voice low but urgent, pacing. I wiped the last of the red wine off the table. The ring it left barely visible on the wood. One candle still smoldered in its pool of wax. His briefcase sat on the bench, half-sipped, slumped open. I wasn't snooping. I was putting away the placemats. That's when I saw it. The envelope was thick. Off-white. Partially tucked but not hidden. I slid it free. Whitman and Keene LLP Private Client Division Revised Asset Protection Agreement, C. Hartman. My thumb hovered over the flap. Ellie? Caleb's voice echoed from the stairs. I didn't move. Yeah? Seen my charger? Kitchen. Drawer. Footsteps paused. Then turned. No urgency now. He hadn't seen the letter in my hand. I opened it. 2 pages. Precise language. Terms of separation. Trust allocations. Sole proprietorship protections. No mention of me. No mention of us. The last dish slipped from my fingers into the sink. It didn't break, but the clang was louder than it needed to be. He was behind me now. You okay? I turned slowly, still holding the letter. He went still. Where did you get that? Same place you left it. Right next to the ghost of my birthday cake. His eyes flicked to the briefcase. It's not what you think. You're preparing to protect your assets. It's just a draft, drawn up by one of the most aggressive asset protection firms on the East Coast. He exhaled. My accountant, don't insult me. I wasn't, you've been moving things. Quietly. Separately. I stepped forward. Since when? Ellie, since when, Caleb? He rubbed his forehead. A few weeks. Why? It's precautionary. No. It's preparation. He didn't answer. You're planning to leave me, I said. No. He said too fast. I'm not. You hired lawyers to handle business. My name's tied to a lot of ventures, which I helped stabilize, negotiate, spin. I know that. Apparently not enough to include me in the protection. It's complicated. No, it's calculated. His mouth opened, then closed. I laid the letter on the table, smoothing the edges. When were you going to tell me? I wasn't sure I needed to. You don't tell someone when you're rearranging the castle to make sure they don't get a key? He swallowed. Ellie, you're blowing this up. I pointed to the signature line. You signed it. I didn't file it. But you signed it. Silence. Then, I was going to talk to you. When? After the merger? After I'd poured another quarter into building your brand. I'm not walking away. No, I said. You're hiding exits. His jaw clenched. You're twisting this. You twisted it the moment you chose secrecy. I was protecting what I've built. What we built. His gaze dropped. I stepped back. Is that all I am? A temporary advisor with bedroom access? Don't. Why? You already sent the message. You don't trust me. I do, you just trust your lawyers more. I needed to be smart. You needed to be honest. His breath caught, shallow. I didn't want to scare you. You didn't want me to see. He sat down, hands on his knees like the weight had finally registered. It's just business. No, I said. It's betrayal dressed in paperwork. He looked up. What do you want me to say? Nothing. Ellie, I want you to sit there and feel it. He stood up again. Please. You signed the line, Caleb. There's nothing left to negotiate. I didn't do this to hurt you. But you did. I didn't know how to explain it. You didn't try. He stared at me. I stared back. You never even gave me the courtesy of suspicion, I said. You counted on me being loyal. Predictable. That's not true. Isn't it? He hesitated. I didn't think it would come to this. Then you should have read the fine print on me. What does that mean? I stepped past him, picked up the envelope, and tucked it neatly back into his briefcase. You just lost your best strategist. And I left him in the room he'd emptied himself. ***. The boardroom lights buzzed faintly overhead. My coffee went cold at my elbow. Caleb was talking. If we push Q3 forward, marketing can float the gap with projections from the Felsen account. I nodded. So did the rest of them. Everyone looked alert, interested. I adjusted the cuff of my blouse and met his eyes once. He didn't linger. His attention moved on. Ellie, he said, still standing, laser pointer in hand, can you walk them through the contingency options? Option A buys breathing room, I said. Option B assumes a stronger Q4 than we've earned. Option C is cosmetic. It only makes sense if you need optics, not performance. Someone whistled low. Mark, probably, Caleb smiled, arms crossed. Told you she doesn't miss. I smiled back. It didn't reach my eyes. Afterward, we stood in the corridor near the elevators. I leaned against the wall while he typed into his phone. Lunch with Nadine ran long yesterday, he said. Sorry if I missed anything. You didn't. He looked up. You sure? Positive. I told her you'd send over that valuation report. You didn't. I meant to. It slipped. I sent it. He smiled, relieved. What would I do without you? I stared at him. Plan ahead. He blinked, then laughed. That's fair. He didn't ask if I was okay. Or how I'd slept. Or why my smile didn't quite hold. I turned to go. Hey, he called after me, you're still coming to the founders' dinner, right? No. I have plans. With who? I pressed the button for the elevator. Myself. He frowned. You're upset about the briefcase thing. I'm not. Ellie, I'm not upset, Caleb. I'm informed. The elevator dinged. He didn't follow back at my desk. The world resumed. Emails. Contracts. Another conference call. By 3, I'd restructured a deal for a biotech startup and rewritten Caleb's closing notes for the Delano pitch. At 4:30, he leaned against my doorframe. You've been quiet. I've been working. You sure you're okay? I looked up. Now you ask. I mean it. So do I. He shifted. We good? No, he let out a breath. Okay. Can we talk? We are. You know what I mean. I do. I leaned back in my chair. You want me to put a name on what's wrong so you don't have to feel it. That's not fair. Neither is realizing your partner doesn't actually ask about your day. He stepped inside, hands in his pockets. Come on. I ask. When? Last week. You asked if I sent the earnings file. That's not the same. I care. You benefit. He flinched. That's cold. It's accurate. He stepped closer. I know I haven't been the most attentive. I said nothing, but you have to know I trust you. To do your job. Not to matter. He sat down across from me. Is this about the paper? It's about the pattern. You're exaggerating. Name 3 things I've done for myself in the last month. He stared at me. You got that haircut. 3. You took that Sunday off to clean. You bought those shoes for your gala. He exhaled. Okay. I waited. I don't notice everything, he said finally. No. You don't. But I notice you. Not the same thing. Then explain it to me. I used to think you just forgot small things. Now I see they never even registered. He looked down. I'm not good at this. I don't need good. I need present. He rubbed his face. I feel like I'm trying and you're already gone. I'm still here. He looked up, but I don't know why. His voice softened. Do you want to be? I'm asking myself that question. A beat passed. I love you, he said. I used to believe that meant something. It does. Then show me. I'm here. You're here when it's convenient. That's not fair. Neither is watching someone love your usefulness more than your soul. He swallowed hard. I don't know how to fix this. You start by seeing me. I'm looking right at you. No, I said. You're looking through me. And I turned back to my screen. ********. Lara stirred oat milk into her espresso, tapping her spoon twice on the rim. Tell me you're not second-guessing it. I'm not. She raised an eyebrow. I'm just absorbing. He left the whole clause untouched. Elle didn't even blink. I know. He signed page 12 without reading. No redline. No inquiry. I know. She studied me. And you never told him? I sipped my coffee. He never asked. A beat passed. The cafe hummed around us, espresso shots, soft jazz, muted lives. Lara leaned in. Say it out loud. What? That you protected yourself. I protected myself. She smiled. Damn right you did. I pulled the manila folder from my bag and slid it across. She opened it, scanned page 12, and grinned. Clean. Elegant. Legally bulletproof. I'm proud. You're proud I planned for betrayal? I'm proud you knew what to do with power. I looked past her to the window, to the city I'd helped Caleb conquer. He asked me to manage the purchase. Handle the boring stuff, he said. You did. He thought I was being helpful. You were. I watched her thumb the clause again. Party B's independent assets, including inheritance and post-transactional income streams, shall remain solely theirs, immune to community claims in the event of dissolution. Lara, yeah? He didn't just forget my birthday. Or the briefcase. Or my worth in the boardroom. I know. He forgot to read the only thing that mattered. Her smile faded. And now he'll learn. That night, Caleb stood in the living room, wine glass in hand, scrolling through an investor report. He looked up when I walked in. Hey. Hey. He set the glass down. You want some? I'm good. He nodded. I was thinking we should relist the Delano deck under your name. You ran point anyway. Why? Because optics matter. And because it's fair. I stared at him. He frowned. What? You ever read our co-ownership agreement? He chuckled. That old thing? You said it was standard. I did. I trusted you. I know. He poured himself another inch of Cabernet. Why? You trusted me, I repeated. He paused mid-sip. Ellie. It's on page 12. What is? Protection. He set the glass down. You're not making sense. You never asked why I insisted on filing independently. Why I had my own counsel. You said it was protocol. You believed me. He crossed his arms. What's this about? The loft. The clause you didn't read. Ellie, I kept my assets separate. In writing. Legally. He blinked. We bought it together. No, I said. We bought it in sequence. I signed first. You added your name later. But, my name owns it. He stepped back. That's not true. Page 12, Caleb. He shook his head. You're bluffing. I'm not. He paced. So this was a trap? No. It was protection. From what I didn't want to believe. You're saying I have no claim. I'm saying you signed away any right to it. He pointed at me. That's manipulative. No. That's strategic. His mouth opened. Then closed. You said you trusted me, I said. So you didn't read. That's not fair. You relied on my silence. I thought. We were building something real. We were. I was just building smarter. His hands went to his hips. So what now? You kick me out? No, he looked relieved. I give you a deadline. He stiffened. Ellie, 1 week. You can't be serious. I walked to the table, laid the folder down. Page 12, I said. This time, read it. He stared at it like it was a weapon. You planned for your exit, I said. I just beat you to it. He didn't speak that I left the room. I didn't look back. Laura slid the tablet across the table. These went through 2 weeks ago. I stared at the screen. He didn't mention anything. No. He wouldn't. I scrolled. 3 new accounts. Each under Hartman Strategic Holdings, with different beneficiary structures. My name absent from every line. Show me the transfer dates. March 9th, March 14th, April 2nd. He moved shared funds into shell entities? Not directly. He funneled through temporary escrow accounts. Clever. But traceable. I sat back. He filed the forms without partner consent? Technically, they were designated under his name, but funded from commingled revenue. That's ours. Laura nodded. He thinks you won't contest it. He's wrong. Her voice cooled. You want to file discovery? No. Not yet. You sure? I want to see what else he buried first. She opened another folder. This one's worse. I leaned in. He amended the business registration on the Biotech equity. Quietly converted it to an advisory claim. Reduced your contractual stake from 20 to 4%. My stomach tightened. He didn't have the authority. No, she said. But he counted on you not noticing. I closed the folder. He weaponized my trust. And underestimated your memory. That night, I stood in the hallway. Outside Caleb's office. The door was ajar. He was on a call. No, she hasn't said anything. If she asks, we'll spin it compliance related. A pause. Yes, I filed the restructure. No, she doesn't know about the advisory downgrade. My hand curled around the frame. She's distracted. We're fine. I stepped inside. He looked up, startled. Hey, hang up. His mouth opened. Now. He clicked off. Everything okay? You downgraded my Biotech equity. He froze. I've seen the filing. I've seen the timestamps. I've seen the shell structures. He stood. Ellie, wait, you transferred joint earnings into private holdings. I had to. Without consent? It was a safety net. For who? He moved around the desk. You're taking this the wrong way. There's no right way to steal. I didn't steal. You reclassified assets. You manipulated documents. You gambled I wouldn't catch it. His voice hardened. I did what was necessary. For who? For both of us. Bullshit. He paced. This wasn't personal. It is now. He faced me. We built this together. You can't tear it down out of spite. You tore it down out of greed. His fists clenched. I thought we were past this. We're past the point of you getting the benefit of the doubt. He stepped closer. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. No, Caleb. You don't understand the woman. You tried to outmaneuver. You want to go to war? I'm already dressed. He scoffed. You won't win. I already have the proof. He blinked. I let you talk. I let you build. I let you think I was looking away. His voice dropped. Ellie, you've made amendments. So have I. What does that mean? It means the woman you didn't see coming is the one holding the pen now. He stared at me. You planned this? No, I said. You did. And I walked out, taking the silence with me. ***. The cafe was half full, half silent. I chose the table by the window. Not for the view, just for the distance. A ceramic cup steamed beside my notepad. Pen uncapped. List started. Things I will no longer explain. My silence, my independence, my decisions. Is that what mid-30s looks like now? I looked up. Marianne stood there in a slate gray coat and scuffed boots, one brow lifted. Took you long enough? She sat down without asking. I wasn't sure I should come. But you did. She glanced at the list. Boundaries. My birthday gift to myself. No cake? Just clarity. She nodded. That tracks. I added another line. My reasons for leaving, so, she said. Tell me the shape of the mess. You know Caleb. I knew the version you bragged about 2 years ago. He's worse now. That takes effort. He redrafted asset sheets. Moved money. Leet. Marianne didn't blink. And you? I pre-wrote the terms of my exit before he saw me coming. Her mouth curled. Our father would have hated how much we turned out like him. He would have hated how much better we are at it. She leaned in. Do you feel free yet? Almost. She watched me. Tell me what you've done. I sipped my coffee. Opened a new account. No co-signers. She nodded. Smart. Filed a separate tax report. No shared deductions. Cleaner that way. Scheduled an appointment with Lara to initiate formal separation of shared holdings. And the personal stuff? I stopped setting his plate at dinner. Marianne exhaled. Took you longer than I thought. I kept waiting for the version of him I built in my head. That version never existed. I know that now. She tapped the side of the cup. You remember when Mom left Dad? She took nothing but the houseplants. She said once, if I can keep something alive after this, I'll be fine. I'm not taking the plants. Good. Take the empire instead. I paused. I'm not angry anymore. That's worse. I'm calm. Focused. Still. Worse. I made a list of every time I bent to accommodate him. And it filled both pages. She reached into her coat, pulled out a small box, and slid it across the table. What's this? Open it. Inside, a silver pen. Engraved. My initials. Clean serif font. For the contracts you'll rewrite, she said. And the walls. You'll raise. I blinked. Thank you. I should have come sooner. You're here now. She smiled. You want company while you finish your list? No, she stood. Call me when you've written the last line. I will. And when she left, I kept writing. I will not shrink for someone else's comfort. I will not confuse patience with self-erasure. I will not ask to be seen. Then I turned the page. And I wrote my name. Alone. At the top. Not as a signature. As a beginning, asterisk asterisk. The hotel ballroom pulsed with violins and false laughter. My dress was red. Not crimson. Not wine. Red. The kind that leaves an afterimage. Caleb's hand rested at the small of my back as we entered. You look incredible. I know. He chuckled. You remember what to say if someone asks about the biotech delay? Whatever you rehearsed. I'm just the accessory, remember? He squeezed my waist. Don't start. I smiled. Polished. Photogenic. His attention was already drifting toward donors. Caleb Hartman, someone called from the bar. He turned to greet them. I slipped toward the seating chart. Table 7. Between board chair Dina Morris and Alexis North. Perfect. She looked up as I approached, then stood. Eleanor Quinn, she said, extending a hand. Didn't expect to be seated next to royalty. Neither did I said. But it's a welcome surprise. She smiled. Your dress could fund a startup. Just my earrings. The dress was a deliberate choice. To be seen? To be remembered. We sat. The waiters poured champagne. Caleb was still working the room. I read your last piece, I said. The exposé on Shell firm laundering under philanthropic fronts. Clean, brutal. Thank you, Alexis said. It made a few enemies. That means it worked. Her eyes glinted. Is that why you're talking to me? No. I'm talking to you because Caleb said you were irrelevant. She laughed. He did? Twice. Once in a boardroom. Once in bed. She leaned closer. And yet here you are, smiling like you're still in love. We're professionals. We perform. She lifted her glass. To the show. Caleb slid into the seat beside me, all charm and cologne. Ladies, everything all right? Perfect, I said. Alexis and I were just catching up on neglected narratives. He smiled tightly. Glad to hear it. Dinner arrived. Speeches began. Caleb stood at the podium, commanding as always. The Hartman Foundation exists because success should ripple outward. Integrity isn't just a value, it's our currency. I watched him. Every word smooth, deliberate. He didn't stutter. Didn't blink. Alexis whispered, polished. Practiced, I said. Caleb looked our way, smiling like a man with nothing to hide. After dessert, Alexis leaned in again. You said something earlier. Neglected narratives. I turned to her. You looking for one? Always. Good. Because I have a question you should ask in print. Her pen appeared. Go on. Why did Hartman Holdings dissolve its equity in Biotem 6 days before the board was informed? Her eyes sharpened. That's confirmed? Public filings. Check the timestamp. The advisory reclassification went live at 8:42 a.m. And you know this how? Because I signed the original agreement 2 years ago. My name was on the stake. Until he removed it. Her voice dropped. This is off record? Until you confirm it. She scribbled something. You're sure? I met her eyes. I'm done giving men the benefit of silence. Caleb returned, beaming. What did I miss? Just old stories, Alexis said, smiling. But I think I found a new one. And I lifted my glass to her. To red. To remembering, asterisk 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 asterisk. The article dropped at 7:04 a.m. I read it once in full, then again slower, letting each paragraph settle like sediment. A discrete reclassification, Hartman Holdings and the Biotem Timeline, by Alexis Nor.it didn't accuse. It revealed WY 9 a.m. My phone buzzed. Caleb, have you seen this? Caleb, we need to talk. Now. I silenced the screen. At 9:17, Lara forwarded a legal bulletin. Subject, internal audit protocols triggered, Hartman board at 10:03, Caleb called. I didn't answer. By noon, the article had been quoted in 3 separate financial blogs. By 1 o'clock, the storm had teeth. He showed up at my office at 2:41, unannounced. He said, breath short, I need you to help me. I didn't look up. With what? This article. Oh? I flipped a page. You mean the one that documented public filings? The one based entirely on fact. He dropped into the chair across from me. They're circling. The board wants a meeting. I'm sure they do. I didn't think it would blow up like this. Why not? He ran a hand through his hair. It's not even that damning. She didn't accuse me of anything. She didn't have to. She trusted the readers to follow the trail. His voice lowered. You fed her. I looked at him. You gave her that information. She did her job. You left your mess in the open. He leaned forward. You don't get it. I could lose everything. You mean everything you tried to hide? Come on. Don't do this. I'm not doing anything. You always do this thing, this cold shut-off, when things go wrong. Things didn't go wrong. They revealed themselves. His mouth tightened. So that's it? You're facing consequences. He shook his head. You don't understand what's at stake. I understand exactly. That's why I made sure my name isn't on any of the sinking pieces. You said you'd protect me. No. I protected myself. He stood. You think this makes you look good? I don't care how it makes me look. You should. Why? Because I finally stepped out of your shadow? He gestured toward the window. The press will circle back to you. They'll dig. Let them. You're not this ruthless. You never read the fine print, Caleb. That was your first mistake. He stared at me like I'd just introduced him to a version of myself he couldn't edit. I need a statement, he said. Someone to say this was all just miscommunication. I'm not your alibi. You're my partner. Not anymore. He swallowed. You really did this. I warned you. No, he said quietly. You waited. You smiled. You let me walk into it. I stood. You walked yourself. He lingered another second, like he thought charm could still work. Close the door on your way out, I said, and when he left, I finally smiled for real. Quiet. Certain. Absolute. Asterisk asterisk. He waited until the lights were off and the air between us was too quiet to ignore. Ellie. I didn't move. Can we talk? I turned the lamp back on. He stood at the threshold of the bedroom, barefoot, still in his dress shirt. Something shifted. I met his eyes. It has. He came in slowly, like I might vanish if he moved too fast. Is this about the article? No, then what? You. He sat on the edge of the bed. I've been trying. Trying. What? To reach you. To fix this. There's nothing to fix. His voice cracked. Don't say that. I stood. You asked if we could talk. So listen. He nodded. There is no break, Caleb. There's no pause button on erosion. I never wanted to hurt you. But you did. I was scared. You were selfish. I thought you'd understand. I did, I said. That was the problem. His shoulders slumped. So that's it? You think this is sudden? I don't know what to think. You didn't notice me disappearing. I did. I hoped it would pass. It didn't. He looked at the floor. Are you leaving? I already have. He glanced up. The prenup, you signed it. Page 12. I didn't read, you didn't care to. He swallowed hard. What does it say? That my assets remain mine. That you waived claim. He rubbed his jaw. You tricked me. No. I prepared. He stood. So all of this, it was just business? No. It was love. Until it wasn't. His voice softened. Can we start over? I walked to the dresser. Opened the drawer. Pulled out the ring box. I removed my name from the equity accounts. The ones you didn't touch yet. He stepped closer. You don't have to do this. I already did. I made mistakes. Big ones. And I made room for them. For a while. He searched my face. Do you still love me? I don't trust you. That's not what I asked. I held his gaze. I don't love you enough to stay. He exhaled. You were always 2 steps ahead. And you were always just hoping I wouldn't notice. I placed the ring box on the nightstand. This was yours. Not mine. He didn't touch it. Goodbye, Caleb. He didn't say my name. Didn't stop me. He just sat down, in the quiet. I left behind, ***. The apartment was quiet now. No footsteps pacing the hall. No clink of glass. No throat clearing before a lie, just air. Still. Mind that I sat at the kitchen table, pen in hand, notebook open. The same one I'd started on my birthday, red ink marking lines I'd drawn like a map out of something I hadn't named until it was behind me. At the top of the page, letters to myself, Dear Eleanor, you're allowed to stop apologizing for. Noticing. I wrote without hesitation. You're not cold. You're clear. You don't overreact. You observe. You don't destroy. You depart. Page after page. Every time he said he'd fix it, but didn't, I whispered. Every time he said he meant well, but maneuvered anyway. My hand didn't shake. You compromised on location. On timing. On silence. On sleep. On Sundays. On who you were becoming. Footsteps broke the quiet, familiar, but not his. To Marianne, she leaned against the doorframe, holding a small bag of groceries. Still writing? Yes. You're glowing. It's just the lamp. She sat across from me. You want company? For the last page. She nodded. I flipped to a fresh sheet. Stared at the lines. What are you writing now? She asked. Everything I'm reclaiming. Like what? My space. My voice. My strategy. My time. I wrote it down. Say it out loud, she said. I will never teach someone how to betray me twice. She exhaled. That's the one. I added it to the list. Then another. I will not feel guilty for leaving a room I was only tolerated in. Marianne reached across the table, touched my hand. I looked up. I don't miss him, I said. You don't have to. I miss who I thought I was allowed to be with him. She nodded. Now you get to find out who you are without him. I wrote one more line. You are not too much. You were simply misplaced. Then I closed the notebook, not finished. Just full *****. The new apartment was 3 floors up with no elevator and just enough room for what I chose to carry forward. I painted the far wall myself, deep green, like the forest you only find by accident. The brush dragged uneven at first, but steadied. One coat, then another. I didn't rush. The shelves stayed bare. No framed vacations. No gifts with strings. Just space. Marianne came by on Sunday. She brought ginger tea and a soft look. God, she said, stepping in, you actually did it. It's not much. It's yours. I poured the tea. I don't know what to put on the walls. You don't have to yet. I keep waiting to feel finished. You're not a project. We sat on the floor with mismatched cushions. Light spilled across the floor like it belonged there. She sipped. Do you miss him? No. She raised a brow. I miss being mistaken for someone who didn't see it coming. That'll fade. I keep thinking about the drawer where I used to keep his cufflinks. She leaned her head against the wall. And it's empty now. I like it that way. You should. I looked around. There's no history here. No one knows who I was in this space. That's the point, Elle. I traced a line on my teacup. I thought I'd feel hollow. You feel clean. I keep waking up early. She smiled. No footsteps. No closing laptop. No second guessing. The quiet. Exactly. You don't sound lost. I'm not. I'm just beginning. She looked at me for a long moment. You built a life in reaction to someone else. Now you get to build one for yourself. I don't know where to start. You already did. I exhaled. I didn't think it would feel like this. Like what? Stillness. Not silence. Just still. That's yours now, too. I set the cup down. I don't need to tell the whole story anymore. You lived it. That's enough. I smiled. Next week, I'm getting a new desk. One that fits the window. Marianne grinned. A desk. With a view. I like that. I want the sun behind me when I work. Then hang a mirror across. Let the light bounce. We sat there until the tea cooled. No clocks. No phones. No tension, just a room without memories, and a future without permission. Asterisk 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 asterisk. The conference room was minimalist, glass, steel, light. No clutter. No pretense. I set my notebook down as the door opened. Eleanor Quinn? His voice was warm. Sure, yes. Daniel Reyes. He extended his hand. Thanks for meeting me. I shook it. Firm grip. No performance in the pressure. I've read your casework, he said. The biochem realignment. The expansion forecast for Meridian. Sharp moves. Sharp was necessary. He smiled. So I gathered. We sat. He opened a folder. I'm not looking for someone to clean up chaos. I'm looking for someone to help me avoid it. Smart. I bootstrapped this company from 2 engineers and a whiteboard. I know what I don't know. That's why I called. What are you offering? Equity. Decision-making power. And clarity. I don't hide terms. No buried clauses? No buried motives. I met his eyes. Steady. Clear. He tilted his head. You've dealt with hidden terms before. I've written them. Any regrets? Only when I trusted someone else to read them. He nodded. Noted. We talked numbers. Timelines. Boundaries. He listened more than he talked. You vet all your partnerships this way? I asked. I've learned to. Hard way. The only way that teaches you anything. I closed my notebook. What do you actually want from this company? Impact, he said. And peace of mind. Ambitious pairing. Doable with the right structure. And the right strategist. He smiled again. Exactly. I stood. Let's walk. The floor. We moved into the open workspace, glass walls, humming energy, no plaques or portraits. Just engineers, designers, people who looked like they wanted to be there. He pointed to a team at the far end. That's my lead dev group. They push back when they should. Good. I don't need yes people. No, I said. You need truth early, not apology late. He looked over. You speak like someone who's had to apologize for someone else's mess. I don't do that anymore. He stopped near the whiteboard. Do you like what you've seen? I do. And I'd like to work with someone who doesn't flinch when I speak plainly. He nodded. I'd like to work with someone who knows what it costs to hold their own line. We shook again. Next steps, he asked. I send you a contract without footnotes. I'll read every word. I expect nothing less. I turned to leave. He walked me to the elevator. One question, he said. I glanced over. You always this calm? No, I said. Just no longer afraid. The doors opened. He held them. Glad I called you. So am I. And as they closed, I caught my reflection in the mirrored panel. Not cautious. Not waiting. Just ready.